Welcome back to the Weekly Education Pulse. I'm Sammy.
And I'm Tony. Each week we break down the key developments shaping the international and independent school sector.
Yeah, this week India features prominently, and with good reason. Two stories from the subcontinent that together paint a clear picture of how fast the market is growing.
Alongside that, Epsom College making its first move into the Middle East, and we end with two very different stories about education crosses borders. So let's get into it.
And we begin with what has been described as one of the largest transactions ever completed in India's K-12 school sector. Lighthouse Learning Group, backed by global investment firm KKR, has acquired Pathways School Gurugram for, approximately $180 million.
The deal is valued at 13 times the school's annual operating profit, which gives you a sense of how premium IB assets are being priced in the Indian market right now. Pathways School Gurugram is well-established IB school on a 13-acre campus serving around 1,600 students.
Yeah, Lighthouse Learning itself is worth understanding in context. KKR first invested in the group in 2019 and made a further significant investment in November 2025 alongside Canadian pension fund PSP Investments. The group, formerly known as Eurokids International, now operates over 2,000 preschools and 60 K-12 schools, educating more than 190,000 students daily across brands including Eurokids, Euroschool, Billabong High International, and Heritage Experiential Schools.
And what this acquisition tells us is that institutional investors are no longer just building school platforms in India. They are now willing to pay significant premium for established high-quality assets within proven enrollment and fee power. 13 times operating profit is notable multiple. It suggests institutional capital isn't just building platforms anymore, but actively competing for existing assets with demonstrated demand.
Yeah, and for Pathways School, the question over time will be a familiar one. What changes and what doesn't? When a school moves from independent ownership into a large private equity-backed platform, Lighthouse has a track record of presenting itself as an operator that preserves the identity of what it acquires while adding governance and resource depth. Whether that holds for a school at this price point, with expectations attached, remains to be seen.
Our second story stays in India and comes from a rather different direction. Runwal Realty, one of Mumbai's most established property developers with 45-year history, has announced plans to build 3 schools across Mumbai Metropolitan Region, beginning with an IB campus in Chembur, where foundations are already being laid.
Yeah, the Chembur campus will be a ground plus 7-story building with a 12,000 square foot playground designed as more than just a school. Plans are in place for further campuses in Mulund and Thane, all embedded within Runwal's wider residential township developments.
The logic here is one that we've encountered before in other markets. Education as a community infrastructure built into the fabric of a residential development rather than added afterwards. Now, Runwal frames it explicitly. Education is one of the key pillars of a community, and these schools are part of what Runwal is building, not separate from it.
Yeah, what we don't know yet is who will operate or manage the schools. No curriculum operator has been named alongside Runwal in this announcement. That is the gap worth watching. A beautifully designed campus needs experienced education leadership, and the track record of real estate developers successfully operating schools independently is mixed at best.
Although there are good examples in India of developer-led school models that have worked well when the right academic partner is found. The IB designation for Chembur is significant. It signals intent to serve families looking for globally portable qualifications in Mumbai's eastern suburbs, where that option has historically been limited. Whether the execution matches the ambition will be the story to follow. Our third story takes us to the UAE, where Epsom College has announced a partnership with NEMA Education to open 2 new schools, Epsom College Abu Dhabi in September 2028 and Epsom College Dubai in September 2030.
Yeah, Epsom College was founded in Surrey in 1855. This is its first step into the Middle East, a significant moment for a school that has built its international presence carefully, with Epsom College Malaysia opening in 2014 and Epsom College Tokyo due to open next year. 2 Emirati schools in one announcement is a meaningful acceleration of that pace.
The partner, NEMA Education is an interesting choice. NEMA owns and operates Abu Dhabi University and Liwa University, together educating more than 14,000 students in higher education. Their experience is at the university level rather than K-12, which is a different operating context. But the connection between UAE's university infrastructure and its school sector is a live conversation, and having a partner with deep roots in Abu Dhabi's education ecosystem is not without value.
Each campus is planned for between 2,000 to 2,500 students, fully co-educational, early years through to sixth form, with British curriculum through to GCSE and A-levels. Fees have yet to be announced, though Epsom's head, Mark Lascelles, has been clear these will be a premium product.
What Mark has also said publicly is worth noting. He wants these schools to have autonomy, but also carry the genuine Epsom influence, involvement in founding leadership, curriculum design, and campus design. And he's been candid that the curriculum will be adapted for the Middle East context, not simply transplanted from Surrey.
Yeah, and that distinction matters. A school designed for its market rather than simply placed in it is a genuinely different kind of school for families. And Epsom's head is also named Saudi Arabia as a likely next location. So this is not just an Emirati story, this is the beginning of what looks like a deliberate regional strategy.
Our fourth story this week brings us back to the UK, where Inspired Learning Group has acquired Alpha Preparatory School and Nursery in Harrow, North London, for children aged 3 to 11.
Yeah, a small note before we go further. Inspired Learning Group, founded by Amit Mehta and focused entirely on the UK market, is a separate entity from Inspired Education Group, the global premium schools group founded by Nadim Nsuli, with 125 schools across 30 countries. They share part of a name and nothing else, so it's worth being clear on that.
With Alpha Prep, Inspired Learning Group now operates 35 independent schools and nurseries across the UK, educating close to 5,000 students.
Yeah, Alpha Prep's chair of governors describes it as ensuring a bright and secure future for children, staff, and the community. Language that reflects the most common reasons smaller independent schools choose this path. The school retains its identity and traditions within a group that provides governance stability and shared resource.
And what Inspired Learning Group has built is a recognisable UK domestic model. Not the global premium platform, not a PE-backed consolidator at scale, but a focused, steady accumulation of community prep schools that want to belong to something larger without being absorbed into something unrecognisable. It is one of the several different ways that small independent schools in the UK are navigating the current climate.
And given the financial pressures many are facing, the pipeline of this kind of deal is unlikely to slow.
Our final story this week takes us to a different kind of lens to international education entirely. Austrade, the Australian government's trade and investment promotion body, hosted Australian Education Week in Bangladesh in May, bringing a delegation of Australian universities and education institutions to Dhaka to meet government officials, private universities, and transnational education partners.
Yeah, the numbers behind this visit are worth understanding. Bangladesh is currently Australia's fifth largest source market for international students, more than 22,000 enrolled. Education is already worth more than 1.2 billion Aussie dollars to Australia as an export from Bangladesh alone.
And that context is changing. Bangladesh is expected to graduate from least developed country status this year, a significant economic milestone. Rapidly growing economy with a young, internationally oriented population creates exactly the kind of demand for internationally recognised qualifications that Australia's universities and colleges are positioned to serve.
Yeah, the week saw the formal launch of the Australian University Forum in Bangladesh, a platform to connect Australian institutions with Bangladeshi partners on joint degrees, PhD collaboration, and transnational education programs, where Australian degrees are delivered in Bangladesh rather than requiring students to travel.
And that last point is significant. Transnational education, degrees delivered in country, and it is increasingly how Australia and other nations are thinking about education export. Not just attracting students to come to you, but building the infrastructure to take quality credentials to where the students actually are.
Yeah, and it raises a genuinely interesting question. As Bangladesh develops and its own institutions improve, what is the right model for Australia's engagement? Attracting students who travel to Sydney or Melbourne, or building partnerships that serve students who will study and remain in Dhaka? Those are different bets about what international education is actually for, and Australia is exploring both simultaneously.
And that brings us to the end of this week's episode.
Yeah, India, the Emirates, the UK, and Bangladesh. 4 markets, 5 stories, and across all of them, a familiar question showing up in unfamiliar forms.
If there's a development in your region that we should be covering, do get in touch.
And we're back next week with another global update. Cheers. See you next time.